Have I been on mute this entire time? I 100% have, and I am so, so sorry. I can't even begin to describe how absolutely sorry I am. Here I am explaining what's going on, and I'm just like, I wonder if I turned off that thing or turned that thing back on. I'm doing awesome, by the way. I hope everyone is too. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm technology inept. Technologically inept. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And, oh my god. Ah. I was sitting here talking with y'all and just telling stories, and instead I'm just being mute, talking along like a happy little bird. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, guys. I really, really am. Here I am actually giving semi-good advice and talking about, like, actual, like, professional stuff with... Okay, so... Of course it would be so much easier if I had, like, a video on myself, which will not happen for a while. Ever. Maybe. Again. I don't know. I'm so sorry, guys. I am just, like, so sorry. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start back on this. Okay, so let's go with a little bit of a different thing here. Go back to what my usual script is, which is I am using, my program that I'm using is Sketchbook Pro to go and do the illustrations. It's a cheap program that you can start out with for free, and you don't have to get until you actually want to. There's a couple of differences between the free version and the pro version. And, yeah. The tablet I am using is a Huon. I think it's a Canvas 19, but I have no idea because it was given to me. I will definitely say that Huon's really, really good. And if you want to, they tend to have challenges and contests that you can go and submit to. I'm terrible with due dates in case you hadn't been on my channel for very long. And so I haven't won one yet. So there's that. My headphones are the Omni something or rather. Wait. K1B Pros, that's what they are. They have a switch that you can actually turn off the mic for. And that's how I got into this mess. What I used to go and record my videos and to do my streaming is the OBS. This is version 30. Woot. Seems to automatically save everything, which is great. Yeah. 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 And yeah. So I'm Kat, technologically inept. And I make illustrations. And I do graphic design work too. So, graphic design is more my day job, whereas illustrations is more personal work and freelance. Woot! And right now, what I am doing is... So, I am trying to find what process I like to work in. And, this technique, as I was explaining, and unfortunately no one could hear, is a glazing technique. It is a watercolor colored pencil glazing technique. I first learned about it through Spectrum Fantastic Art Live, which unfortunately no longer exists because of shenanigans. And yeah. But the artist that showed it to me, I think his name is Charles Urberek. I'm probably 100% butchering his name. Charles. Urbach. Charles Urbach. I have met him several times. He's really what got me into doing work like this. He does something a little bit different. He does digital prints, or he does a digital underpainting, which is what I did here. Crap. Oh, where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. So that's what I did here. This is a digital underpainting. And then he goes over the top of it with color pencil, which I think is really, really cool. Now, here's the thing with color pencil is that it is semi-transparent. It's not fully opaque. Meaning you can see through it. Now, being that this is digital color pencil, I don't know how well it's actually going to turn out. We will find out. But I do this traditionally whenever I usually do this. And there's a lot of different work with it. I am not the only artist that does this. A lot of them out there can do this or have done this. Goodness. So, yeah. I have one of his prints. So I do recommend his work. It's very, very good. And yeah. So to catch you up, I am getting more and more into doing this type of work. And when I do it to the level that I want to be at, it turns out really, really good. And, that's how it should be. More often than not, unfortunately, my impatience tends to win over. And right now, I unfortunately am a very, very impatient person. So, yeah, man. I don't know why I did that. So, there we are. However, I need to be less impatient. So, yeah. And oddly enough, the one technique I really, really like is the one technique that really, really is gonna force me to slow the F down. Because it's a technique that legitimately takes a long time to do. And yeah. So there's that. But your best images will always come out of pieces, not necessarily. Okay, so 90% of the time, the best pieces come out of projects that take you a long time to do. And not necessarily every piece. Like, I've seen some fantastic pieces, and I know that I've done some fantastic pieces that were done very, very quickly. But they weren't... but those are very, very few and far between. And taking your time to do them is really where that's going to end up being at. Is where you're going to end up having the most payoff. And unfortunately, I'm not going to get a really, really good... I'm not going to end up getting a really, really good representation of color pencil in here because color pencil, like many, many other traditional materials, changes very, very... There's lots of changes to it, but it doesn't come out the same way, I guess. How do I put this? So, one of the things with digital materials is that 90% of the time, a pencil is going to be a pencil, and it's always going to remain sharp digitally. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that being said, you aren't going to get the kind of variations that you tend to get with pencils and color pencils specifically. But like I said, they take a really long time to do when you're when you do them. So why am I going in circles? Okay. This is, and oddly enough, I'm liking this, doing it this way way, way better. And oddly enough, this is gonna probably end up looking a lot closer to what I would expect color pencil drawing to look like. What was I saying? Oh, why am I doing the circles? So when it comes to color pencils, they blend. When you, not even just color pencils, but also like markers in general, like anything that you go and that you need to go and do work on, or like markers, color pencils, pens, anything where you need to have almost a seamless blend or a seamless look, you want to go in circles with. Uh, Now, you've got to find a happy medium with them because uh you gotta find the sweet point with the mediums because not all of the mediums are going to react the same way. Like with color pencils, you don't have to worry about bleeding, you don't have to really worry about things going over each other, because you can just color over it and it's not going to get that much darker. It's not going to show up because it's semi-opaque, it's semi-transparent. So you can hide a lot of mistakes in color pencils. The thing is that you can't do the same thing with markers. You legitimately do have to um, go and do this style, or you have to be prepared for lines. A lot of, I don't know how many of you guys actually look at old like architecture drawings or paintings from back in the day, uh, where they were using markers and all the lines were drawn really, really straight and had those bold colors in them. Those were all markers, and you would notice that some of the effects that were created were just because the markers overlapped each other. I had a book on it. I don't know if I still do. I had a book on the marker effect, or the how to do architectural drawings with markers. And yeah, no, it was just a really, really good book all around because it covered a lot of that technique. And um, that's not to say it didn't also cover the um, other techniques, or it didn't cover like working with colored pencils or anything. It did. But it was primarily focused on, okay, you're going to be doing these type of drawings. You need to be able to draw these type of lines very, very quickly and accurately. These are techniques. These are what colors will give this type of effect. And it was really, really good. So it's just one of those things that you kind of have to just kind of be aware of. And yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, I like this eye a lot more than I do the other one. Um, Now that's not to say that the other one wasn't good. It's just I prefer crud. What the hell? What the dude? Why are you getting into that? That's not That's because I'm hitting... So, here's a hint. If you go from doing Windows, working on Windows at home, and then you work with Apple at work, you're going to have a lot of problems with crossing over. I keep hitting the wrong button. Simple enough. I just keep hitting the wrong button. That is what was going on, and I'm so sorry. Now, the other reason why I do these circles is that... Yeah. The only reason why I do these circles is that whenever you are working with colors, or with, especially with like color pencils, this goes back to what I was saying earlier with the markers. When you're working with color pencils, if you draw lines a certain way, you're going to end up creating textures. And the same thing with, like I said, markers. It's a little bit easier to see with markers than it necessarily is with color pencils. Because it takes a whole lot more effort to get kind of the same effect. There's a certain effect that, there's a certain feel that color pencils have that I don't think markers do. Markers feels very, very smooth. Not smooth in the same way that digital does. I will definitely say that there's an artist out there who does traditional paintings, but all of his paintings look like they were done digitally. And it's just like, oh my goodness. But I am more of a texture artist. I prefer having texture in my work. And by doing certain lines certain ways, I can create those textures. Am I the best at it? Absolutely not. But is it, you know, but does it get the idea and the point across? 100%. So I am going to continue working on this like this. So if you all have any questions, please feel free to ask. Because, yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. I was talking a bit earlier about how much of a giant nerd I am. I was talking about specifically Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tattoo, and I will be getting more Yu-Gi-Oh! Tattoos pretty soon. I've got a game plan with it. It's kind of sucky in some ways, this game plan, because if things don't happen, it won't technically work out. But if it does, cool. If it doesn't, it's okay. If I ever meet you at a convention, you can ask me all about it. I will probably end up getting my next tattoo done at a convention. And, which I do. Which I do. That's how I got my first one done, is at a convention. And, yeah. Don't worry, it was a good friend of mine, and they try. So my tattoo is really, really visible, and if you know me, you know where it's at. but it's really, really visible, and people tried to go and talk me out of having my tattoo done there, and I was just like, nope, that's where I want it. And I'm just like, yep, yep. The only thing I regret about it, the only thing I regret about it is the fact that I did it in the really, really visible place. Because let me tell you, that hurt a lot. And if you have tattoos and you have tattoos in this place, you will absolutely know what I'm talking about. Because, yeah, yeah. Um, but no, it's a blue eyes white dragon. I am a giant nerd. And yes, I am a Seto Kaiba fan. Bite me. Um, he's don't get me wrong, he's totally a screwed up character, like absolutely. But you know what? If you went through what he went through, you'd be screwed up too. Like the mere fact that he could be saved is far more impressive than the fact that he was just a giant jerk. And anyways, going back to what I was saying, I think it's 2B or maybe it's Freebie. I'm a really cheap nerd. Um, but one of them currently has a Dark Side of Dimensions. And as far as movies, as far as Yu-Gi-Oh goes, that one is the absolute closest of all the animations to the source material. Like, absolutely the closest. And I don't care what anyone says, because everyone's like, oh, the Shadow games didn't exist. No, they did exist. Only the, like, I forget which streamer I was watching, or which whatever I was watching, but they were like, yeah, no, the Shadow games don't exist. It's like, yes, they do. They just were presented very, very differently. Because in the American version, nobody died in them. In the original version, oh my god, there were so many dead people. Like, even if they weren't like dead, they weren't gonna come back. I will say what made it really, really nice is that if you actually read the comic, if you actually read the manga, um, you got to see, you got to go and see some of the characters that showed up in the comic that didn't show up anywhere in the anime. And yes, I will call it a comic because that's technically what it is. It is a comic. It's just not an American comic. Um, and yes, I was once one of those weebs, so, or otakus or whatever. That what once upon a time was like, you must use the exact wording. It's like, eh. After a while, it really doesn't matter. If you want to reference which genre, yeah, it does, but once it's been established, it really doesn't matter. Um, anyways. But no, if you read the manga, um, it in the movie you got to go and see a lot of this, that, and the other. I will say I had some issue with some of the character designs because, yeah, I don't know what they were going for some of them, and I'm just like, I understand that you're wanting to convey that these people are older, but your character designs could use some fixes. Um, Unfortunately, we can't really. I don't know if there's any. I haven't tried to go and read up on that kind of stuff. Um, if there's been any if there were any interviews prior to crap, I can't think of his name. Actually, to be fair, I can barely remember his name. Not because I don't want to pay homage, it's because I have a very hard time reading and pronouncing names. And if I don't know, or if I overthink a name, I will not be able to pronounce it. So I have to be like, okay, is it like this or is it like this? And yeah, yeah. Um, that doesn't mean that there aren't some names that I'll get right off. When Harry Potter was a big thing, Sirius Black was one of those names I ended up getting right off. And let me tell you, when those books came out originally, this was before the fifth book was published. It was still being written. Um, so it was like in between the fourth and the fifth book. And I was reading them. I was reading them for the first time. And I will definitely say as a child, I had a hard time reading. And because of that, I tended to read out loud. I would try to read under my breath, but I'm very, very loud, as I have been told numerous times. I've even been told that I should have gone into the theater because of how loud I am naturally. I don't know if I can act though. It's kind of important to know how to do that. I don't know if I can act though. Anyways, um but it's such a childish thing, but back when every day was a struggle, every small victory was massive. Um but I was told that Sirius's name was Cyrus, and I was just like, no, I don't think so. And everyone kept telling me, yeah, it is. And I was like, no, it's not. I don't care. I won't call him that, you know. And I was finally like, let's just wait until the movie comes out. Well, the movie came out and I was right. And not gonna lie, I've been riding that high ever since because I'm a petty person. Petty, petty, petty. But like I said, back then every victory was important. Even though it was a couple years before that paid off. I'll definitely say the only reason I even got into reading to that point was because of Harry Potter. And then it was because of all the manga. Not that my mom was thrilled about that. That was back in the day when pocket monsters were demons and we were torturing the Pokemon because, you know, they were being forced into battles. It's like, apparently you did not read or watch any of the Pokemon lore. Pokemon are not forced into battles, they are not slaves. They can choose whether or not to be caught, and if they like you, they'll let you be caught. If they don't like you, well, you know, I don't want to be on the other end of a Charizard. Just saying. Seems like a really, really bad life choice there. So, yeah. Yeah. But I will say the fact that Ash dies continuously in almost every movie is hilarious to me because I have a terrible sense of humor. Anyways, going back to the whole Yu-Gi-Oh thing. No, I really enjoyed that series. I do wish it was like the original series. and I wish it could have been expanded upon, like the actual series, but because Disney now owns it, or owns the American version, that will never happen. There is, like, legit, I don't know how many people know this, but in Japan there's actually, like, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0, and I want to go to Japan just so that I can get that. I want to learn Japanese just so that I can watch it without subtitles. I want that movie, or that season, so bad. And I'm sure it costs an arm and a leg. Not even joking. Not even joking. Because, I don't even know how many people even realize that there's a season 0. Yes, this is how much of a nerd I am. Boot. I'll come back to the beak. I am not happy about how it is right now, but that's okay. I'm digging the eye, so I'll leave it be. I don't want to add the highlights until later. Excuse moi. Okie dokie. So. You know, something about drawing figure, or drawing, animals, or even living beings, is that sometimes you look at how things are put together and you're just like, huh, that does not seem like that should go like that. But it does. And for a second, you're actually very impressed with the universe. And then you remember you have to draw it, and then you're like, I can afford to be less impressed. But no. Alright, folks, we are 3 till. I hope that you enjoyed today's session, even though you missed like 90% of my talking. Yeah, I was way more energetic earlier whenever I first started the stream. I am so sorry, folks. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Hopefully I don't mess up that again. 'Cause, yeah, I still feel real silly about that. Anyways, I hope that y'all are doing well and that you enjoyed today's session. I will bring this out. Oh, wait. 1 second. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yep. I'm slowly doing this drawing. And we'll get it done. But that's okay. That is for next time. Woot! But I look forward to seeing you guys all next time. Have a safe time, and I will see. I keep saying next week, don't I? Huh. I'll see you Thursday. Yes, you will. Alright. Y'all have a good night. And be safe out there. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Bye! Button, who's got the button?